NCAA basketball totals for Thursday, March 2nd. This is the segment where we look at totals set by odds makers in NCAA hoops. We're coming down to March Madness. We're coming down to the end of the season. It's been a pretty good season so far for our totals, and let's go ahead and see if we can continue that today for the most part, and go ahead and try to finish off the season on a high note. As well, we have our NBA live segment that goes on Sunday through Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern, again, where we talk about totals. And that one, you guys can chime in, and we get a lot of great feedback, a lot of good comments. So you might want to check that one out. That's on our Facebook page, sbrpicks.com, Sportsbook Review, our main page, sign-up bonuses, YouTube channel. It's all there to help you with your handicapping. And let's go ahead and let's break down a couple games. Now, I'm going over the total on the two games we're going to see today. And that's Cincinnati. Well, first we're going to look at Cincinnati and Houston. I thought this was an interesting line. And I'm kind of going with the odds makers on this one. And I'll tell you why. Because odds makers have it at 135. Make sure there's not a hook on that. I want to double check my line. Sorry. 135. I'm going over this total. So last time they met up, Cincinnati won in Houston. Two good teams, by the way. 67-58. So we had a 125, 125, got something in my throat. A 125 final in that matchup. Oddsmakers had that at 132. Now, they've gone under the total the last 5 times they've met up. I don't think it's going to happen tonight, though. I think we're going to see a higher scoring affair with two teams that can score, despite the fact Cincinnati's a great defensive team. Now, what really gets my radar up on something like this is when there is a total at 132 and they went under, but yet oddsmakers felt compelled to go ahead and make this total today a little bit over that, and added to the fact that they've been going a lot of unders, like I said, the last 5 times they met up, since they haven't gone over the total since 2014. So I'm going to go ahead and back over. And when we look at their stats, I think there's some good validity to this as to why. You're talking about a Houston team that averages 75 points per game. And they could shoot. They're shooting over 45% from the floor, and they can really shoot from distance, 39.8%, which ranks 13th in the country. Cincinnati, great defensive stats across the board, but they can score also. They're shooting over 46% from the floor, over 35% from distance. They're going to be at home. They're going to put up some points. Houston is pretty good defensively, not quite as good as Cincinnati as far as their stats. But at the end, when we see the pace, how this is probably going to turn out with both these teams getting up almost 60 attempts per game, I really think that 135 comes into play. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here and back the odds makers, because the total actually looks a little bit too high when you dig into the stats. And I'm going to back over this total simply for the fact that although they both play good D, they both can score. And like I said, two good three-point shooting teams, two good efficient scoring teams. I think they're going to be able to get there tonight. So I'm going to back over this 135. Great matchup here. All right, next one we got up. Iowa and Wisconsin. And we're also going over the total here. Kind of the same scenario here. We have a number here set by oddsmakers, 143.5, And I'm going to go over this total. Last time they met up, was all the way back last February. So it's the first time they met up this year, but the totals we've seen from them, odds makers, I mean, this is the second highest total we've seen from odds makers when these two match up, all the way back to Bo Ryan's era. So we can't really count that because they ran a really slow tempo, and we have a 30-second clock as well to consider. But the last time they met up, it was a 138. They went under, 67-59 final. Wisconsin beating Iowa at Iowa. Now this game here is at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's has been struggling recently, and I expect they're going to be able to put up some points against an Iowa team that loves to go up tempo, but also gives up their share of points. I mean, right now Iowa's allowing 77.7 points per game. Wisconsin is averaging just 73.1. But Iowa defensively is not very good. Opponents shoot about 44% and over 35% from distance against them. Wisconsin, they can score. They're really efficient. They're shooting over 51% on their two-point shots. They're shooting over 45% overall, and they're shooting about 35% from distance. I expect them to score tonight. Tempo is going to be a big factor. Iowa loves to get up and down. They're averaging over 62 attempts per game, almost 63 attempts per game. Wisconsin, this isn't Bo Ryan's team now. This is a little different. They, especially with the shorter shot clock, they can get up and down and they can score. Although they have struggled recently, this is still a good scoring team. They're efficient. I think they're going to be able to, I think they're going to want to go ahead and get up and down tonight against an Iowa team. They probably want to get that bad taste out of their mouth because they have not been playing very good basketball recently. I mean, let's look. They've lost 4 out of their last 5, so it's probably a good chance for them to go ahead and get up and put up a lot of points. Now Iowa, although Wisconsin's a good defensive team, I think they're going to be able to score enough to help get us over this 143.5. They're averaging over 80 points per game. They have some good athletes. They average 28 field goals made per game. They're ranked 30th in the country. So at the end of the day, although Wisconsin's a pretty good defensive team, I think Iowa's going to be able to score, and I think Wisconsin's going to put up about 80. So look for these two to get up and down and for us to get over this 143.5. And that is it. So let's break that down one more time. We got Houston, Cincinnati over the 135, Iowa, Wisconsin over the 143.5. Two really, really good games, I think. And don't forget, we have March Madness coming up, a whole great slate of conference championship games, and it's just going to be a fantastic March. So be sure to tune into SBR Sportsbook Review, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, don't miss out on the best basketball betting content available on YouTube. Click our logo button on the bottom left to subscribe. And as always, guys, give us a like and drop your comments below because we want to hear from you. Visit our website to take advantage of all our free products.